Yeah, I would say that Kaggle is a great resource for that. So Kaggle is a data science competition website. You don't need to be super competitive. Like you can still participate even if you don't think you're gonna, win. It's a great learning experience. Not all of those are necessarily like business cases, but you can definitely find ones that are. And the great thing about Kaggle is you can submit your own solution, but you can also look at other people once the competition's over, and you can look at past competitions. You can look at other people's solutions and see how they approached it. I would say a lot of it really depends on what your ideal learning style is. So like for me, I really benefited from in-person learning, which is why I, went to do an in-person master's degree, and I went to do a machine learning fellowship where I could work with people in person, and the software engineering bootcamp was also in person. But then online ones like there's Data Camp and Data Quest are both some good options. And then if you specifically want to learn just like Python or R, you can also look up lots of different courses that specifically just teach that. Like, don't limit yourself to data science, because especially Python is used for all sorts of other things besides data science. So I guess there's like, is it competitive to find a job, or is it competitive once you're on the job? So I would say once you're on the job, like, you're not competing against your peers necessarily, but yeah, I think you're asking like, competitive to get a data science job. I would say that there's a huge demand for people in data right now. Absolutely huge, and it's growing. And so there's tons of opportunities. But of course, that doesn't mean it's necessarily easy to land one of those opportunities. It's definitely, you really need to stand out, especially because there are currently a lot of people who are just trying to break into data science. And so I would say that a really good strategy that I used was to identify what makes you unique and what sets you apart. Because if all you are offering is, I just graduated and I either majored in data science or I did online courses, please hire me, I want my first job. Like, there are going to be literally thousands of people like that on LinkedIn or applying to jobs. But if you can have a different take, if you're like, hey, I majored in data science, or I took these online courses, and I have a special interest in this area. So for me, computer vision was that area. I really focused a lot on computer vision in both my machine learning fellowship and my software engineering bootcamp. All of my projects were related to computer vision. And so when I was applying to jobs, I was able to say, hey, I'm really interested in computer vision, and here are like 4 projects I've done specifically about computer vision. And I know VR, is all about computer vision. And so, that's what made me stand out when I was interviewing with Oculus. Yeah, so when I was in marketing, really the reason that I decided that I wanted to go into tech was that the company I was working at in marketing, the majority of the time, was an international job search website. And so I was getting to see the inside scoop of sort of what areas, like globally, what work areas are there tons of jobs in, and what work areas are there tons of applicants in. And I was seeing that, I was working in marketing, but when I would see there weren't that many marketing jobs going up relatively, but for every marketing job, there were tons and tons of people applying. But whereas the opposite was true for tech jobs, there were tons of tech jobs opening up all over the world, like every country you could think of, and they were struggling to get good applicants. A lot of them found some really good applicants through the website, so it was great working there and helping that happen. But I was sort of thinking, do I want to be in a career where I have to, compete against a huge number of other people for a limited number of jobs? Or do I want to be in an industry where I'm competing against, still a lot of people, but a little bit fewer people and for way more job opportunities? So really that is what inspired me, especially because I wanted the freedom to eventually later in my career and life be able to work in whatever country I want to work in or whatever city I want to work in. And I knew I would have a lot more of that freedom if I worked in tech. I think that's a great question. Something I should mention is that all these job titles, they are very ambiguous. So something that's called a data analyst in one company could be called a data scientist in another company, or it could be called a machine learning engineer in a different company. There's sort of a lot of overlap, and so I would say generally ranging from less technical to more technical would be data analyst, then data scientist, then maybe research scientist, or machine learning engineer, machine learning scientist. But really it's a spectrum. So like at Facebook, as data scientists, some data scientists are doing machine learning, but in Oculus at least, as data scientists, we're not really doing the machine learning because we have specific machine learning research scientists who are doing that. And then as data scientists, we are working with the data to track their success and to help them succeed and to understand how to make strategic recommendations for products. It's possible that if I want a change, I mean, again, a great thing about working at Facebook is that you can change teams pretty flexibly. So, Facebook includes Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, the actual Facebook app, Oculus, and even some other things. And so it's possible that if I decide I want to focus in a different area, that I might choose another place within Facebook. It's also, possible that I might eventually decide that after working for a huge company for a while, I want to go back to working with startups. I could also see myself starting my own startup one day. But for now, I'm really happy here. And as long as I feel like I'm still learning and growing at a job or, at this job, I'm likely going to stay at Facebook because there's so many opportunities to learn and grow and, also impact the world. So so for now, I am very happy here. Often, a lot of people will find me on LinkedIn after talks like this, and feel free to do that. I just want to say that this is also going to be great practice for, your networking. I usually only accept requests of people if they include a personalized message. So if you include a personalized message on LinkedIn when you send me the request, that will be really great. And especially if it's, I get a lot of LinkedIn requests where the message is like, please help me find a job or something like that. And, I do want to help people find jobs, but I get a lot of those. So if there's something specific that resonated with you from my talk, like mentioning that, or, something more specific, talking about like a common interest we have or something like that, those are the types of messages that I'm much more likely to accept the connection request and respond to. And I think that that's generally true for a lot of people on LinkedIn.